All right, New York Giants fans, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. My voice is a little out today. I've been playing in the snow for the last 2 days. I have to admit it, and I'm going to say this now, I'm probably one of the best belly floppers there is going down the hill without a sled. Sliding straight down, 60 miles an hour, off the ramp, off the jump. I was freaking awesome. It was like I was 10 years old all over again. Now the problem is my 52-year-old body is feeling like it's 78. But let's talk about the New York Football Giants. Oh, man, this game again, Cleveland, the flex game to 820. Oh, how do I feel about it? I don't feel good. I really don't. And I think it's the honesty of all Giant fans that are probably looking at this game as a loss. I am not totally marking this game down as a failure or a loss yet, because I think there is some intrinsic value to what the Giants can do to stifle some of the things that Cleveland does. But we're going to go through that in a moment. Right now, of course, everyone knows that Jason Garrett and James Bradberry are on the COVID protocol, so they definitely will not be available on Sunday. There is a good piece of news, though, that most fans are probably neglecting to look at. Dwayne Haskins is starting for the Washington football team against Seattle. What's his name? Alex Smith is out with a calf injury, so Dwayne Haskins will be the starter against Seattle, and I think that, since it's a 1 o'clock game, will give us more motivation when they lose. And we have a chance to take over first place again. But it's a tall order to do that. I mean, if we take a look at what we're dealing with right now, if you have to feel the fact that, James Bradberry's out, Isaac Yiadom is going to be our CB1. That's just the way it's going to be. I don't go with the logic that some fans have that we're going to move Logan Ryan into the second corner position, only because of the fact that Logan Ryan's skill set in that corner position has diminished greatly over the last 2 years, which is one of the reasons why he wanted to play safety, which is one of the reasons why it took him such an extended period of time to sign a contract, because a lot of people wanted him as the corner. He wanted to be a safety because he knows he does not have the skills to pay the bills in that position right now. So I don't think that we are going to go – I honestly don't think we're going to go with an official CB2, only because of the fact that if Darnay Holmes right now is pretty much listed as questionable. He was out last week, of course, with the injury. He hasn't practiced this week, really, but he still has an opportunity to play. So what I think is going to happen what I think will happen is Adrian Colbert is coming back. He's coming back off the IR. Last week, the majority of Xavier McKinney's spots were taken over for Darnay Holmes in the slot. So I think he played something like 48% of his snaps were in the slot. I think he's going to fall back into that position. And honestly, I think that we're going to basically just have a mismatch of players at the CB2 position. I think it'll be a little bit of Adrian Colbert. I think it'll be a little bit of Julian Peppers. What the hell am I getting Julius? I'm thinking Julius Peppers. Why? I have no idea. That just blew my mind there for a half a second, though. And I laughed because it just dawned on me why his name just popped into my head. If you ever seen those McFarlane NFL figures, I've been collecting them since Series 1. And Peppers has a Carolina Panthers one. And I used to have it on my desk, and I was cleaning out my desk yesterday, and I found it. So I put number 90 back up on the desk. I don't even remember why I had them out. I think someone gave it to me, and I just kept them on the desk for years. So finally found them again. But I think, like I said, I think that CB2 spot is going to be manned by rotation. And I think it's going to be Peppers, Love, Colt, and Colbert in between there, and again with a little bit of mixture of McKinney. I think it's the smartest way to go, because Mondre Harper's on the IR. Of course, Ryan Lewis is on the IR. They waived Brandon Williams. I mean, even if they bring someone in now, it's going to be they're not going to have an impact. But if I was Patrick Graham, I would make that CB2 a rotational position. I wouldn't flag someone and say that's the guy it's going to be. Because like I said, everyone has – and the great thing about playing a situational defense is you really do not have to designate a CB1, CB2. You could just designate things by players by coverage. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, the question is, can we generate a pass rush? We got no pass rush last week. And people are going to say, well, it's because Kyler Murray can move around. Well, Baker Mayfield is not Kyler Murray in reference to having the ability to move and slide and run. But Baker is I've always referred to him as a defiant quarterback. He will stand in that pocket. He's not afraid to take the hit. He has the ability to move around and actually create space for himself. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's able to create space from himself, and he's able to create his own throwing lanes. And I think that's going to be another difficult situation for the Giants. Now, hopefully, he will revert to kind of the Baker that held on to the ball too long and had difficulties making decisions. But I don't see that happening because Cleveland scored like 80 points in the last two games. And you sit there with Jarvis Landry, you got Nick Chubbs and you got Kareem Hunt. It's going to be interesting because it's going to be interesting to see how Patrick Graham really tries to fortify his defense. Because are you going to keep 7 in a box to try to slow down the run? Or are you going to try to keep an extra DB or maybe an extra DB or two and keep them in the box as a kind of a quasi linebacker? Because Peppers right now plays about 40 to 50% of the snaps in the box, basically in the linebacker position. So are you going to bring in Xavier McKinney more and keep him in the box as well to try to slow down the run and hopefully get Baker? My thing is this. For us to be successful this week, we need to generate a quick pass rush. We need quick penetration. We don't need to get to Baker, but we need to keep him from having more than 2.5, 3 seconds to throw the ball. We need to get a push that will limit him and limit his ability to step up and throw. We want him backpedaling. If we can get a rush from Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Tomlinson, Leonard Williams, Sheard, and even the likes of Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin, if we can get that rush, and we don't have to get to him, we just have to make it difficult for him to step up into the pocket, limit his ability to look deep for the big play, and keep him into a dink and dunk rhythm, and hopefully they'll just go either to the flat or into the middle of the field. And I think if we have that capability to do that, there is a potential that we could pull off a Seattle and limit them. The only problem is, yes, Chris Carson is a good running back, but he is not Nick Chubbs and he is not Kareem Hunt. He's not. And those two players are really the X factor for this game, because if we cannot limit the run, we are going to get killed in the play action because of the fact that we really have Isaac Yiadom as our most seasoned corner outside of Logan Ryan. But we are going to run into massive issues. Now, the problem is on offense, I don't care who's starting. This is going to be a tough matchup. And this is going to be a tough matchup for the line because you got some beasts. You got one beast coming at him. If he doesn't swing his helmet and try to hit someone, I think we'll be. Maybe if he did swing his helmet and try to hit someone, we can get him out of the game. But you all know who I'm talking about. And then we also have Olivier Vernon on the line. They can generate a rush. Now, right now we're looking at Colt McCoy starting the game. But you never know. Anything could change by Sunday. So if we are going with Colt McCoy, I have a better feeling that we'll be able to move the ball a little bit on the ground, kind of go with the Seattle game plan, try to establish the run early, even if we don't score touchdowns but we get some field goals, try to keep ball control. Kind of do what we did in Seattle. Like I said, in Seattle only had the ball 11 seconds longer than we did. So if we can establish that type, keep the defense for Cleveland on the field and keep the offensive off the field for as long as we can, keep the score, and if we can keep the score close by halftime, this is going to remind me of a prize fight, and this is going to remind me of a Tyson prize fight. And the Tyson prize fight, especially early in his career when he was Tyson, he would come at you and he would do a hard charge. And if we can survive the first quarter, I think we have a shot in the game. We'll just need to be more consistent running the ball and try to set up the play action pass. And the line is going to have to hold up. Cleveland, they have some good safeties. They have some good corners. They got B.J. Goodson, who's actually been playing really well, linebacker. So I think if the line... The one thing I didn't like about Nick Gates said the other day, he's like, we were confused by the 4-4-3. You really shouldn't be confused by that. You really shouldn't be. You got four at that point in time. You got 4 games left in the season. You pretty much should have seen everything. And you tell me you were confused by that made me worried, because a lot of the times they were only rushing 4 guys, and then maybe bringing in a 5th. So I think hopefully Judge and the line are going to go back to fundamental blocking, block straightforward, man-to-man, watch for the defensive stunts, bring in an extra blocker, keep the score close. I'm telling you this right now. If we can keep the score close, if we can go into halftime, let's say 14-10, and that'll be 14 Cleveland, 10 the Giants, we have an opportunity to win this game, because what will happen is we sat there and we got through the first wave of Tyson punches. And I feel that once we build momentum going into the third quarter, it will give us the opportunity to win the game. As long as we focus on the simplicities, the simplest things as ball control and having the ability to get Cleveland a couple 3-and-outs. If we can do that and we keep it close by halftime, I'm telling you right now, anything could happen in this game. Do I think the Giants will win? No. I think the Giants will still fall 21-17. But I think there will be a much more concerted effort to go back to basics during this game. And I think that's what you need to do. You need to just have a simplistic game plan, maintain ball control, limit the other team, get them off the field on third downs. Like I said in Seattle, limit the big play. And the same thing I said against Kyler Murray. First thing I said against Kyler Murray was you cannot allow him to have more than 2 broken plays. No, I actually said 1 broken play, because that's how he kills you. And he had more than 1. But Baker Mayfield, if we can stop him from going deep and we take those punches, we have a puncher's chance to win this game. I don't think we will, but if we go into halftime 14-10, 9-3, 9-6, something such as that, we'll have an opportunity to win this game. Because you know what? It's the NFL and anything can happen. We're not going to do a show until after the game. We'll do some limited shows next week because of the holiday, so I wish everyone well. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you could ring that bell, you think that means, that'd be awesome.